welcome back to the virtual Kanc Connection. I'm Jillian Clark, and once again, I'm co-hosting with Olivia Drapo.
We're going to start off our show today with an important message from Mr. Priber now. Let's take a look.
Hey Lumberjacks, this is Mr. Priber now. I'm just going to answer a couple of questions from the principal's point of view through the Kanc Connection. I'm grateful that they asked me to talk. We had some questions regarding this last episode of distance learning. So the first one is how did the administration come to the decision to remote learn this week? You basically have to look at our staffing, honestly, and then the number of kids that potentially could be affected. Staffing is a hard thing. As you know, we don't have a whole lot of subs that work here, and as more and more people get in close contact and are asked to quarantine, we have a hard time covering those classes, and so it's just more efficient to go remote. We did have what we thought was a significant amount of people who were close contact traced, and that really played an effect on whether or not we go forward with remote learning or whether or not we stay in school. We thought based on those decisions, lack of staffing, number of people that have been contact traced, that it would just be a little more efficient and easier for the community for future learning opportunities come back to schools if we would stay distance learning this week. What might cause us to go remote again in the future is another question. Well, it's basically the same thing. If we look at the number of cases, if people within the school system are actually being infected and they're showing signs and symptoms and then getting contact traced, ultimately it's about keeping everybody safe and looking at how many people are affected, especially, again, staff members. It makes it really difficult to teach school if our staff members can't be here. So that's why we hope everybody stays healthy and stays safe. That's what we look at, trying to keep everybody as safe as possible and then moving forward. Next, it says, it's been stressful in making these decisions. How do you keep everyone safe at school? About how to keep everybody safe at school. It is. There's a team of us. We confer with DHHS. They assigned us an investigator, and they assigned us another woman who answers schools' questions for tracing people. And then we look at the nurse who attends meetings weekly on updates and activities, and then we get together as a team of administrators, nurse, DHHS, and we figure out what needs to be done. And is it easy decision? No, absolutely not. Nobody wants to keep kids out of school, especially me. I feel like, is it safe to keep kids in school? For the most part, yes, but when things start to speed up as much as they are, then we got to slow things down and come out of school. But it can be stressful. You just have to relax and know that nothing's personal when we make decisions. And in that sense, that I mean, it's like we're not trying to offend anybody by either staying out of school or in school. It's just what's best for the community at that time. How do I deal with stress? Personally, I try not to let it get to me, but a lot of times it can. I like to do a lot of woodworking at home. I wish I could say that I worked out more, but just look at me. I don't. I'm a little unfit, so I need to start working out. And but I do like woodworking at home, and I do those kind of things. It's just one of the hobbies that I have, or I'll go out and do yard work, and my dog keeps me plenty entertained as well. And then finally, a little bit of words of wisdom. Guys, be in the moment. Be in the moment. We're on these screens and TVs and phones way too much. Show some respect to your teachers. They plan for this. They put an enormous amount of hours to do this stuff. So give them the courtesy of listening to their class, being there. Be available on the video screen as well. You can change your screen in the background, right? So people don't see your house, don't see your room or so forth. But feel free to use those options on Google Meet. But, be in the moment, be with your teachers, be with your friends, even if it is distance learning. So with that, I think we can succeed as we move forward. And what I want to let you know is go Lumberjacks. And they're backwards, so that's me being corny. Take care, and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Mr. Priber, for that important update. Now onto a story put together by Olivia Drapo on how we are coping with these stressful times.
Oh, hi. I was just taking some time to relieve the stress. Sometimes, when the stress is just too much for me to handle, I'll pick up a good book and start reading about someone else's story, instead of worrying about everything going on in my own life. Another thing I like to do to relieve stress is do something creative, like painting.
I cope with stress by taking showers, playing video games, watching Netflix, and playing sports.
Okay. Yeah, I have a spinning chair in my room, so I sit here and do my schoolwork. But after my schoolwork's done, after I'm done with the stressful part of my day, I like to color. And I have a lot of coloring books in my room, such as these lovely coloring books. I also have pieces of cardboard laying around my room, so I can just draw on those too, because the more the merrier. Got a bucket full of Sharpies, Expo markers, just a bunch of random markers that I've collected. And I got a big bucket of colored pencils with some regular pencils in there as well. So yeah, that's what I do in my free time. It's very therapeutic, nice and easy.
Sometimes when I'm feeling stressed or overwhelmed, I like to come on a walk in the woods with my dog. It can be really relaxing for both of us, and it helps take my mind off of stressful things going on in my life. Oh, get him! That's our dog Cash, and right now he's coping in a healthy way. Usually he'll cope in an unhealthy way when he's inside by barking and jumping on people and stealing things he shouldn't have. But right now he likes to be outside and run around and chase all the squirrels so he can cope with his stress in the healthiest way possible. Those are such good strategies to cope with stress. Now on to this week's news.
Welcome back to What Went Down in the World This Week with Shanna Drapo. On Tuesday, January 12th, the House of Representatives voted to pass a resolution urging Vice President Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment against President Donald Trump by declaring that Trump is unfit to lead. However, Pence refused, and the House of Representatives moved on to their second choice of action, impeachment. On Wednesday, January 13th, a historical event happened in our country. The House of Representatives voted to impeach President Donald Trump for a second time, the only U.S. president to ever be impeached twice. The final vote was 232 to 197, with 10 Republican representatives voting to impeach Trump. The article of impeachment will now be sent to the Senate by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. The Senate most likely will not vote until after Joe Biden's inauguration on January 20th. Although Donald Trump will no longer be in office, the impeachment will still affect him. If he were to be impeached by the Senate, Donald Trump would not be able to run in the 2024 presidential race or for any public office in the future. He would also lose a lot of his post-presidency benefits. And now, for some good news. The West Asian country of Saudi Arabia has announced plans to build a zero-carbon and zero-traffic city. The city will cover 105 miles of land across the coastline in a long, thin shape. This revolutionary city, called The Line, will be home to over 1 million people and will preserve 90% of the natural environment around it. Construction of the city is projected to begin within the first quarter of this year. The line will be a network of AI-operated automated transport and will pass through coastal desert, mountains, and upper valley districts on the coast of the Red Sea. The line will encourage a new environmentally sustainable era of civilization. And that's what went down in the world this week. Thanks for watching!
Thank you, Shanna, for that news update. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go away. We have a sports update and more on the Kanc Connection. Welcome back. We now have a quick update on sports from Olivia.
Welcome back to Yay Sports. Last week there was a lot of uncertainty with our sports schedule. We do have a schedule set for this week and hopefully no changes will have to be made. On Wednesday, the middle school basketball teams will be facing Bartlett at 4 o'clock. The boys at home and the girls away. Then on Friday, the boys will be traveling to Lisbon for another 4 o'clock game. For varsity basketball, the teams will be hosting Lisbon on Tuesday. The girls at 4 and the boys at 5:30. Then on Friday, the teams will travel to Profile. The girls will play at 3:30 and the boys will play at 5. Next Saturday, the boys' junior varsity basketball team will be playing Woodsville at home at 11 o'clock. Now on to the ski teams. On Thursday, the middle school team will be heading to Cranmore for a 10 o'clock race. And on Friday, the high school team will have a race at Bretton Woods at 10. That's all for Yay Sports today.
Thanks for that update, Olivia.
Jillian, I bet you have been keeping busy with that new gaming setup. Oh wait, did I say new? Must have forgot, you played GTA 5 on an Xbox 360.
Well, how's it going playing your 5 millionth game of Snake on Google? Or have you switched to Solitaire yet?
Touché.
All jokes aside, I hope you all have a great 3-day weekend and have a chance to reflect on the life of MLK. His message for equality bodes even more important now than ever.
I could not agree more, Jillian. This is Olivia signing off. As always, thank you for joining us and have a safe and relaxing holiday weekend, everyone.